In this video, I'm going to share 3 simple tips for optimizing your Instagram bio. Hey everybody, Katie Lance here, founder and CEO of Katie Lance Consulting, the Get Social Smart Academy, and author of the book, Get Social Smart. And it's episode 244 of the Get Social Smart Show. In this episode, I'm going to share with you 3 simple tips for how to optimize your bio for success. Tip number 1. Who, what, where, and why. You gotta tell me who you are, what you're all about, where you work, and what's your why. Now your bio, you don't have a whole lot of real estate, right? No pun intended. You only have about 150 characters or so. So it's really important that you give people a sense of who you are and what you're all about. I recommend your name ideally should be your name, right? What do people know you for? So make sure you've got your name. If possible, you might have to add in a period or an underscore, or maybe you add the word realtor to the end of your name, but try to keep it consistent with how people know you. The other part of that is you want to tell people where you work. If you're a realtor, what brokerage are you with? Now here's a quick tip. If you work for example, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, you don't necessarily need to write out the entire Berkshire Hathaway Home Services because that takes up a lot of real estate. So you could simply put realtor and then the @ sign and then BHHS real estate, right? Because that's their Instagram handle. And you can do that with any, any franchise or brokerage that you're a part of. So you can maximize that. You also want to let people know what market area that you service, if there's a specific city or market area, and then somewhere in there tell me a little bit about your passion. Maybe you're a mom, maybe you love cats, maybe you love wine, whatever that might be. Give me a little bit of sense of who you are and what you're all about. Now, especially for those of you in real estate, you might be required to add your DRE number, your Department of Real Estate number, in your bio. You want to make sure you check your MLS, ask your broker to double check that. So again, who, what, where, and why, and how? Yeah, put all those in there for your Instagram bio. Tip number 2, have a great link in your bio. Okay, this is something that's really important. Oftentimes I'll go to an agent or broker's Instagram profile and their link is like their website, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, but I like to use a tool like Linktree. Now I'm not affiliated with Linktree, but there's other great tools that are out there, but I love Linktree because it's free and you can add multiple links in your bio. So if you go to my bio, I'm at Katie Lance, make sure you give me a follow if we're not yet connected over on Instagram. If you go to my bio and you click on my link, you'll see all different types of links. Links to our academy, links to our training, links on how you can work with me. I've got links to free downloads and other videos and our podcast and all kinds of good stuff. For an agent though, you can have links to your listings, your open houses, community information, links to your YouTube, your Facebook, and your other social media profiles. It's just going to give people more of a sense of who you are and what you're all about. The third way to optimize your bio are your highlights. So at the bottom of your profile, if you go over to my profile, you'll see I've got these little red buttons across my profile, and those are called Instagram highlights. So what these are is they're basically pieces of your Instagram story. As you start to create Instagram stories are here today and they're gone in 24 hours. So one of the ways to extend the life of your Instagram stories is to take some of your stories and add them into your highlights. Now you might wonder, well, what category should I have for my highlights? It really depends on what your content is for your stories. If you follow me on Instagram, you know a lot of my stories are kind of like the behind the scenes. It might be a little bit of traveling when I'm doing traveling from time to time, or speaking on stage. I also love to share some things about my family and our kitty cat, and a little bit about who I am personally and professionally. So as you're creating those stories, there's a little button at the bottom of your stories and you can add those to a highlight. Or if you've never done this before, you can actually go into your archive with your stories and you can add past stories to your highlights. So the benefit of this is as you start to grow your Instagram, as you start interacting with people who may not know you, beyond your friends and family and clients, what do we do? What's the natural reaction? Well, if you were to comment on one of my posts and I look at your name and maybe I don't recognize your name, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to your profile, right? So I want to know who you are, what's your name, right? I want to see a little bit about you with your bio. And then if you have highlights, now it's going to give me a real sense of who you are and what you're all about, and I can tap through those highlights. I often say it's almost like Netflixing your channel, right? We've all binge watched on Netflix, and if you can make your Instagram bio kind of Netflix binge worthy, that's also a signal to Instagram that people are spending time on your profile. And when people spend time on your profile, guess what? They're going to start to see more of your content. Your content is now going to show up more in their feed. okay? So those are 3 small things that really make a big difference when it comes to Instagram. If you've struggled with getting followers or, just engaging on Instagram, first start with your bio. And if you've been on Instagram a while, I suggest that you kind of, dust off your bio a little bit, update it, add some emojis, add your highlights, look at your link, and truly those few things really make a big difference. Now, if you're listening to this thinking, okay, I really need some more strategy in general on my Instagram, I invite you to download. We have a free Insta Guide. If you go to KatieLance.com/InstaGuide, KatieLance.com/InstaGuide, put your name and email in, and we're going to send you our newly updated Insta Guide for Instagram for real estate. There's all kinds of tips in there in terms of Instagram Reels and Stories and IGTV and how to generate business from Instagram, all kinds of good stuff. So check that out. And if you are watching this video over on YouTube and you like our content, we would love if you hit the subscribe button and the bell button, as we have new videos that come out each and every week. Okay, I would love to hear from you. Are you active over on Instagram? Drop your Instagram handle below. I would love to connect with you, give you a follow, and see what you're doing over on Instagram. All right, my friends, until next time, we'll see you soon, and I'll see you on Instagram. Bye for now.